Hello, it's Kim. Sorry, it's a little bright. No, it's a little bright on one side of my face, a little dark on the other. Lighting. Anyway, I'm here. It is Kim Howerton. I am a health coach who is here to answer your coaching kind of healthy questions. I try and jump in here for a little bit on Tuesday nights, see if people are curious about things. They have things they want to know more about. So it just occurred to me that there were some questions that came in last week that I totally forgot to look up. So let me see if I can find those from last week, which is exciting for you guys to watch me look something up. But I should be able to find them in here. So somebody asked me about nitrogen water. I know nothing about nitrogen water. I have my doubts about nitrogen water, but I have not researched the topic. From the previous week, someone had said that I had talked about hormone replacement therapy. And they had said they'd gotten scared of hormone replacement therapy because their mother was on hormone therapy. And then their mother got breast cancer. And the thing I would like to say is, which I don't like to say, but most likely the breast cancer was going to happen whether or not the people who are not on hormone replacement therapy also get breast cancer. It's not necessarily thought of as a cause, even though there are breast cancers that can be estrogen assisted. And so those people might not want to be on HRT with a history of breast cancer, although there are certain forms of HRT that can still be possible. And the thing that I want to bring up there is that that I am not in any way saying that I am a doctor. I am not. I should not. I do not advise in such way. But there's a great book called Estrogen Matters by Avram. I think it's Avram Blum is his name. And he is a oncologist who specializes in breast cancer. And he recommends, his wife had breast cancer and she was miserable going through menopause and she had breast cancer, and he put her on an appropriate dose of HRT. So the thing is that the studies that correlated increased breast cancer with increased HRT have since been disproven. So I'm not saying, hey, if you take HRT, you'll never get breast cancer, because I was about to say everyone does, but that's not what I mean. People who don't take it get it. People who do take it get it. And there are certain circumstances, obviously, where it's not recommended. That is going to be a discussion with your doctor. But, you know, this sort of like, well, my mom got breast cancer and was on HRT, you know, I can understand the fear there, right? That is scary. But the likelihood is if she didn't take the HRT, she would have also gotten breast cancer. So that's something that has to be looked at on an individual basis. But it's really easy to make those kind of correlations, right? She was on HRT and she did get breast cancer. Probably not related, right? But they both happened in the same time frame, which is very scary. And so I get that. It's very human and normal. What else? Would you talk about, sorry, I'm just trying to, would you talk about, I don't know anything about that topic she asked about. So I will skip that one too. All right. So Kathy says, so the new labs book will be out around September. I reference your first book option. Yes, that is the expected date. It's good timing. So hopefully, because it's like, you don't want it to come out in the summer because it's not really like a beach read. And like, then we get into the holidays and people are distracted. So that's the current trajectory. So fingers crossed, everything happens in the right order. It's with the publisher. They're working on things. They're asking me some questions. They're asking Ken some questions, doing little details. So we're looking hopefully at September. So we'll go there. Yeah. Hey, Betsy, good to see you there. So yeah, so that's what's happening over here. I will not be on next week. I will be out of town, but I will be visiting some family in Italy. So that's going to be fun. And so hopefully you guys will soldier on without me. Rita says, what's my best yogurt for low sugar, no carb? Well, there's no carb yogurt. Lactose is a carb. There are lactose-free yogurts, but they still have some carbs. So there are low-carb yogurts, though. And so what my favorite yogurt is Fage. That's okay, Rita. You spelled it the British way. I understand British as well as English. So yeah. So I like Fage, which is the Fage, Fage, but it's pronounced apparently Fage. I think that's my favorite. And if I want it flavored, I mix in some protein powder or some flavorings or, some stevia or something like that. And then I get flavored. That way I can just buy one big yogurt that's in my fridge that I can use for everything I want to use it for. But the Too Good yogurt brand, is pretty low carb, if I remember correctly. So Fage is, I think it's 6 grams of carbs for a cup, something like that. It's a cup or 3/4 of a cup, but totally workable, probably about as low as I can find. Skyr, Skyr, is like yogurt. It's not yogurt, but it's like yogurt. It's a little thicker and it's considered a cheese, but it's basically similar to yogurt. They're all fermented dairy products at a certain level. And that, depending on the brand, some plain Skyr is often very low carb as well. You just have to look on the back of the package. And I would say, but yeah, I get Fage and that Greek. I always go Greek yogurt. To me, the point of yogurt is an easy protein source. And if you're not getting the Greek yogurt, you're not getting high protein yogurt. And so to me, it's always about the Greek. I tried the Yoplait protein yogurts. They're terrible. So that's no good. But I'm a big fan of Fage. It's very sour, right? It doesn't have any sweet, but if I add things to it, it gets sweet if you want a sweet yogurt. But so that's the one I tend to go for. And I'm a big yogurt girl. I eat yogurt all the time, probably daily. So that is something I keep in my fridge. It's also, high in calcium. I think calcium can be super important for people, and calcium supplements. They are not something I really like or suggest or think help with anything, but wanting to make sure that I get enough protein, I get calcium in my diet, things like that, are important for bone health, bone density, and general good health. So I'm a protein girly. And Greek yogurt it's super easy. You can have it for breakfast, you can have it for lunch, you can have it with your dinner. I cook with it. I use it in sauces. I replace certain things with it. So yeah, Betsy, savory yogurt, cucumber, lemon juice, salt, and pepper, yum, which is basically you're making some tzatziki there. So that's great. Love that. Yeah. So use it for savory use. I mean, some of that on if you like salmon or something, that makes a great, sort of salmon sauce. You can also use that, the tzatziki, which is the cucumber lemon yogurt sauce with lamb, meatballs. It's very useful. And even Turkish eggs, right? That's Greek yogurt with some spices, some dill, some garlic, some things like that. And then you put some poached eggs on that, so there's some great uses for Greek yogurt. That was a tongue twister that I didn't know was coming. Anyway, so that is what's going on there. Tonight we are having, as my boyfriend and I have termed them, Chipotle bowls. We don't love Chipotle. I love the idea of Chipotle, but every time I get Chipotle, I'm like, that wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. So we just started making them at home. So we have some cilantro rice, cilantro cauliflower rice, that I make. It's just make the cauliflower rice and then squeeze in some lime. You need more lime than you think you will. Trick, you can add 1 lemon to the lime juice, kind of brighten it up, and then some chopped up cilantro. I mix that up. Then I do some chicken in the air fryer. I I chop that up, then so I season the chicken, cook it in the air fryer, chop it up. Then I got like, some little guacamoles, some salsas, some veggies, and you got all the ingredients you need to make a little chipotle bowl. And we'll eat that like 5 nights straight. It's just like over and over, rinse and repeat. And that makes dinners really easy. I am definitely a do it multiple days kind of eater girl. That do I have time? I could probably make time to make a new dinner every night, but that's just exhausting. And I'm fine. If I liked it yesterday, I'm going to probably like it today. So I'm definitely a repeater of dinners. And Eric is very happy to repeat dinners. He doesn't care. He doesn't want to change it up all the time. He likes to change it up weekly. He doesn't care about daily. So yeah, so that prep took about a half an hour, and I've got dinner for 5 days. So, and half an hour is a leisurely half an hour. So I make him regular rice. I make me cauliflower rice, and the rest of it's pretty much the same for the both of us. Oh, there, I use Greek yogurt instead of sour cream. Mostly, if I thought of it, I would buy sour cream, but I don't keep sour cream. I only have to go out and buy it, but I keep yogurt. So why not use the yogurt? So I use yogurt. So we put yogurt, yogurt, salsa, and guacamole on top. And sometimes if I have a tortilla, I'll make him a little quesadilla on the side. He needs more food than I do. He needs like 4,000 calories a day to function, and I do not need that much. So I kind of supplement him with generally more carbs, just because that's an easy thing for him to eat, and he can get more nutrition. Both of our base diets have protein, fats, that kind of stuff, and then I supplement a little bit more for him, a lot more, like double for him, because he has a much more active lifestyle, and also just a crazy metabolism. So when I first met Eric, he would eat a whole carton of ice cream at night just to maintain his weight. So just so he didn't lose weight, like a big carton every night. And now he doesn't do that. Now he's 53. Hold on. Yeah, 53. And now he's like a smaller serving. But yeah, no, we got to feed him a lot, or else he starts looking a little scrawny, and he doesn't like to do that. So he needs to eat a lot. I don't get it. You think we could meet Eric one day? Probably not. I can show you his picture. He does not like to be on social media. Let's see. Let's see. What do we got? Favorites. I'll go to favorites. So I think my phone does not like to respond to me today. There we go. So I showed this once online, but let's see. No, that's not it. So that's Eric when I met him. He was a skater punk, but you can see he did not have a lot of extra body fat at that time. He's much less tan these days, but not that different looking. And then does not have that kind of hair. This is us at my senior prom. Let's see him more recently though. Hold on. And this is us a few years ago. So that's pretty much what we got. So that's the boy. Maybe at some point I'll get him to come to something or do something, but he is a little bit shy. So there you go. If you met him, if you just happened upon him in the wild, he would be very polite and happy to talk to you, but he doesn't really like to be a thing. I don't know what's wrong with him. Anyway, and he's not here currently. So yeah, we have Rita. I moved away for a little while, but so there was a little period where I didn't live here, but I've known him since high school, and I am he's 5 years older than me, so I've known him since I was in high school, and then I'm almost 50. So there you go. I'll be 49 this summer, so it's close enough to say almost 50, right? I'm like almost 50. Let's just average this out. Yeah. Betsy, my guy, is like that. Yeah, some people just aren't really front and center. Like, I was about to say front and center people. That's not, I don't mean like he can't be. He just doesn't choose to be. He would be great. He's like better at he's like better at everything. He's kind of a better cook than me. He's kind of better at organizing. He's just really good at stuff, but he just doesn't choose to do this kind of thing. I'm more of the yapper. So yeah. Anyway, I am glad to be here with you guys. Now, that probably is not that exciting for many of you, though. So what other health related questions do you have? I'm happy to answer them. I'm happy to talk about any details about life, whatever. If not, we can call it an early night. That's fine as well. But I am glad to chat about anything. I'll get like going once, going twice. Oh, I found out I'm definitely going to need to start taking testosterone because mine is in the toilet. So that is something I will be talking more about my hormone related journey soon. I'm waiting back for some more details about what my hormones are doing, but some type of HRT is I've been knowing for like a couple of months. I'm like, yeah, I think I need some type of hormone help, but yeah, definitely that is going to be on the agenda for when I get back from my trip, looking into making sure that I'm lining up all of those things because yeah, I'm like, how am I functioning? I have no testosterone in my body. So that is something that definitely is going to be put on my radar, and probably estrogen and progesterone too, but at least the testosterone, that's the only one that I got back so far. And I was like, oh, okay. That's no good. So yeah, so that's happening. So I will definitely talk about it as I learn more and understand more about what I need to do. Where am I going? Rita, I'm going to visit my brother in Italy. So I'll be gone. I think I'll be gone 2 Tuesdays. I'm going like 10 days. So so I won't be here next week or the following week. Andrea, did I have any symptoms? Yes. The low testosterone symptoms that I've been having are sort of general, like not depression, but kind of like a don't careness about things. My got up and go has got up and went, as they say, right? I don't have like a drive that I used to have. I feel a little bit more like whatever. I'm having trouble getting things done. So like that kind of ADHD feeling, which I also have, but like I'll start something, I can't finish it. I feel weak, like things feel heavy, like lifting things. I'm like, am I just this out of shape? Why is this so heavy? Which might also be that I'm also weak and that's just heavy. But you know, I just feel older and a little run down. And so those are some symptoms that would be associated with low testosterone. I don't know if it's the testosterone or the low progesterone, which I don't know if I have low progesterone yet, but I assume I do because I am I'm perimenopausal. Sleep disturbances. I wake up in the night, and I used to not do that. And so yeah, those are all things that testosterone stuff, as Rita just mentioned, thyroid. And so some testosterone issues can look like thyroid issues. They're both hormones. And so, but my thyroid's been okay. So I've been like, oh, what's going on there? So yeah, Rita says my hyperactive thyroid is out of whack. I have a new doctor's appointment on the 25th. Well, good luck with that. Yeah. Andrea, oh my God, sounds like me. My thyroid has been on a roller coaster. I was on Synthroid and my result was 14. Switched to desiccated thyroid, still not feeling well. Yeah. So like they can sound really similar and be really similar. And yes, if your TSH is 14, you're definitely still very hypothyroid. I'm not a doctor, and this is not medical advice, just general knowledge, but 14 is pretty hypo. And so you really got to dial in the dose. One of the things that I find is that a lot of doctors, when they switch people to a desiccated version, underdose people. There is actually a schedule you can look up, which is like this much Synthroid is this much NDT. natural desiccated thyroid. So, but usually they start people too low on the NDT. The other thing though is if you were at a 14 on the Synthroid, they were underdosing your Synthroid probably as well. Oh, geez, Andrea, I take 120. So, and so that's super low. So I'm not suggesting you take what I take. Don't self-medicate, don't self-dose, but yell at your doctor a little bit, because that is probably not enough for a lot of people. That's a super low dose. That's enough for some people. I'm not saying you got to manage through the numbers, right? You got to, and the feelings, not just the numbers. But if you're still feeling super run down and your numbers are actually indicating you also are low, you got to go back. And it's hard because when you don't have enough thyroid, you're like, right? You're kind of run. You don't have the pumped upness for it. You don't have the I can yell at you, but you got to yell at them in a nice way and say, not acceptable. This is not acceptable. The way that I feel is not. I should feel better. So yeah, go back, work on that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I'm not even super, like, I'm not super low, and I'm on a lot more than you. So anyway. All right. What else, guys? Yeah. So yeah, it is true. Like the testosterone, is it the testosterone? Like middle age, you're like, is it the testosterone, the estrogen, it's all of it. It's all of it. But yeah, once you get your thyroid dose dialed in, that should be helpful, because then you only have to deal with it occasionally instead of all the time. But until, like, I remember when I didn't have my thyroid dose dialed in yet, it took a while. It was like testing, retesting, checking, rechecking, changing medications, doing this other thing. So it can take a while. Once it's dialed in, though, hopefully most people are pretty smooth from there. Do I recommend a good book on thyroid? So Stop the Thyroid Madness was great 5 years ago. I honestly don't know what changes might have happened in terms of Stop the Thyroid Madness. But I will say in our book, there's a really good section on thyroid, even in the book that's currently out. So read that. I feel like it's pretty helpful in terms of explaining what's going on with thyroid. And then from there, it's about dialing your dosage in if you need medication with your doctor. So that's pretty much what you got to do. But as a general resource, I know that years ago, Stop the Thyroid Madness was a good resource. I heard they had some like management changes, so I don't honestly know if they're still a good resource. But the old information I think was useful. So, all right. All right, guys, I will be back no, I will not be back next week. I will be back in 3 weeks. So I will see you. Maybe I might try and check in with you guys occasionally on the social medias though. So let me know if you need anything. I'm always here somewhere on the internet. All right. Bye guys.